My name is Carl Zimmer, and I've been skiing every month for 32 years. I'm 69 years old.
You're not.
59. Yeah, well, that's funny. 59. The big reasons I probably continue to ski every month is because I pursued it when I was a kid. I mean, I didn't want the ski season to ever end. It's an excuse to get out with your friends. This is like, oh, the month's almost over. We gotta go do this, you know? It's a motivator. I think October, November are some of the more interesting months because you get real snow, you get fresh snow, but it doesn't have any base sometimes. You see these rock drop-offs and these steep runouts and you're like, this looks great, we're gonna go drop it, let's go hit it. And you just kind of roll the dice and make the run and just hope that the landing isn't all rocks and doesn't stop you cold. Yeah, early season can be challenging, but I don't know, it's really hard to turn down the volume because you're so psyched because you've been skiing some really marginal stuff through the end of the summer. I don't think skiing every month for 32 years is really an accomplishment. I think it's just something that organically happened that I just kept skiing and I didn't see a reason to stop. One of the trips we did, we went up the mesa here a little bit above the house. And we went up to the Aspens and it was good snow in the Aspens. One of my favorite things to do is ski the boulder fields. And you never know how much snow is in the boulder fields, but they're really just kind of a really fun thing to get into. And we made some lines down through the boulder fields that were pretty marginal. They were like no fall zones because you couldn't leave your skis because you'd hit check a big rock. But you know, you just kind of, you find the little pillows and you tap dance down through the rocks. If you live in at Powder Runs, it's a nice quiet little existence. We get some good snow. I've learned to embrace skiing the blues and sparking the arcs and learning the carve, and that's fun, but we also get a lot of side country lines. At the end of the day, you can pitch off the top of the lift up there and wander your way down through the trees and end up at your back door, so that's kind of sweet. It's really cool to find out that you're not such an oddball and that there are other people that share your passion, and those are the people you want to connect with.
So my name is Casey Eels. I've been skiing with Carl for almost 5 years. He is the best skier I've ever met. His ability to cheer you up and his unending energy are definitely what you get from him. He's never tired. He's always stoked to go do something, and he's gonna get you stoked if it's the last thing he does. the beautiful thing about what he's kind of imparting is that he teaches you to take a minute and just go out into the wilderness and kind of revitalize. Just one day a month is all you need.
So in May, we went up to Yankee Boy. That's a place that has a lot of memories for me. As a young boy growing up in Ouray, even before I could drive, I would get someone in the family drive me up in the Yankee Boy before the snow melted. I like to ski on my birthday. That was kind of a big event. June 1st, we got to get up in Yankee Boy and make some runs. Going up there this year was really cool. That's just a really cool zone for me because I've skied up in there a lot as a kid. Before AT gear and all that stuff, we would just put on our ski boots at the Jeep and boot pack up as far as you could with your alpine skis and ski down. That was really cool to get back into that zone. We've always had some challenges because you can imagine as the years start to accumulate, everybody's run into things that there's some life crises that occur that cause you to have to, either time or work or family or physical, injuries have interrupted or nearly interrupted your streak. Probably the first was when I tore my ACL because we were summer skiing in June and I jumped off a cornice and blew out my ACL. But before I had surgery, I made sure that I hiked up in the Indian Peaks and got my month in because I knew that I was going to have a possible gap. I needed some time before my next ski. So after my ACL surgery, the doctor after that, he's like, well, I don't think you should ski this year and you should just let your knee rehab. And I'm like, I can follow that advice. And so I didn't ski that year. And I took up snowboarding because he didn't specify exactly what I couldn't do. He said I shouldn't ski. And so that allowed me to continue my streak. And so I actually snowboarded exclusively for 25 years.
My name is Kathy, and I'm Carl's wife. I don't know how Carl would have made out without me in his life. I will be honest. I don't know. Through the years, I have to admit that Carl's skiing has brought us some experience and some very fun times. His face when he thinks he's not going to get his month in, it's heartbreaking. There were times when it was a big inconvenience, but Carl's passion drove me to help him. And allowing him to pursue that passion, I think I have to say it was a wonderful thing for me to be able to help him do that. I don't know many other women that would have put up with it.
Skiing every month for as long as I've been skiing, it can be challenging for people around you, especially family, because we really end up having to make these lifestyle decisions about schedules, and so you can't be somewhere and you have to get this event in and you have to be within the proximity to get it done. And because of these constraints, sometimes it just is this balance of trying to adapt to what family interests are and what your personal interests are. And so it isn't, there's been some tension about when and where and what's going to happen next. And are you really going to do this? And why are you doing this? Why is this all about you? And it is a very selfish thing. It's very personal. I don't feel that I'm an influence or someone to look up to about this, because it's just this thing I do. And I think it's really cool that other people get excited about it and share the interest. No, I don't think I'm an influence. I just think I'm just one of the older guys doing it. But that's fine.
Carl doesn't give a darn whether he influences people or not. This is his passion. But I do try to tell Carl, you're truly amazing. I mean, and he will sometimes say, this is so selfish of me. And I'm like, but it really isn't, because look at how many people you have brought into this wonderful sport. And it's such a great sideline for you to have a great passion. And look at how many friends you've made and how many people you have introduced to this passion that might never have had this.
Gonna get some months in, gonna get August in with a crew, the Front Range crew, the boys, Bob and Eldon and Verge, and back to the old stomping grounds. Gonna be good.
How many years have you been skiing with these guys?
31 and change. You just hit 30 this year.
360, 361. This will be
So did
362.
Bob give you one of those little stickers?
No.
No one gives a damn that you skied 360 months?
We had that at 340. We made those back then. Yeah, we got some of them.
I need to put one of those on my skis.
Nobody gives a shit.
No one gives a shit. I started skiing every month, or counting it, because I had this good buddy that I worked with, Bob Phillips, and we both were so charged to find someone else who was as passionate about skiing as each other were. One October, we'd probably skied a good number of months of that summer, and that October I rode the lift up at, I think it was at Loveland, and I rode up with this guy who said he skied every month, and he'd been doing it for a number of years. And I got off the lift and I skied to the bottom, and I talked to Bob. I'm like, man, this guy counts every month he skis. He skis all year long. I'm like, dang, we got to do this. We got it. That sounds great.
It's the one excuse that we have to get together for all of us.
And that's why this
it's
weekend
hard
was so
with
cool.
Carl and Nick on there, but yeah, it's like I get to see my buddies every night.
Means you're still alive.
It just we're looking down on the snow.
I'm Charlie claim to fame.
No, it's just something you do. I mean, like you said earlier, you can't stop. Once you start.
I almost don't feel like it's a choice I'm making.
Really?
You don't have a choice.
No, you don't. And Kathy looks at me every month and she's like, are you going to quit now? I'm like, no.
If I should die, and you guys are still doing it, you gotta fucking take my ashes. And
Sprinkle them down and
don't scatter them. Keep them and
Keep 'em in your pack.
Oh, you'll go every.
Keep it going.
We'll have you cremated with your skis, so it's all in one
Yeah,
order.
exactly.
Well, they do.
I bet they
Fuck
would.
yeah.
Sure, why not?
If they don't, I will.
I'm putting that in my fucking will.
September was super challenging, and we were skiing, again, back to rock-encrusted ice on steep, no run-out zones, and sometimes it's pretty marginal. It definitely qualifies as just barely skiing. I found a way to get up there and get my board on this slab of ice and make some safety turns. That was that was fun. Marched down through the wind, down and skied the lower terrain, and that was a lot more pleasurable after having suffered through the little ice patch up there in the rocks, and you're like, dang, why didn't we start here? That would have been so much easier. But yeah, and then the lower zone was fun, and it turns out it was good skiing and really good for the month, so that was a good day. It's feast or famine in October, because October is one of the months when Colorado starts to get its first snows. And October can be fabulous, and it can be super challenging like our October, but we had actually good snow this year compared to some.
"5 years, bud."
5 years.
And you, Carl, how many years?
32. 32.
How's it feel?
How's it feel? Feels like another month. Feels like the first ones were actually really easy, but it doesn't feel any different than any of the other ones. It's just stay at the office.
You just do it.
You just do it, yeah. And you have to have a crew that you get out with. Make it happen.
He grew up a mountaineer who didn't know he was a mountaineer. He didn't know he was an outdoorsman. He didn't know that that's the thing to do in Colorado. He is totally ignorant to all those things, but in a lot of ways he really embodies the outdoor spirit.
I think Carl's just an amazing human being in all aspects. I really do. His passion for his skiing, his passion for his family, his passion for his work. All of us could stand to have a little more passion in our lives.
I just can't imagine my life, my world, without this thing. It would be like, it's just something you do. I think I would have a big empty place at this point in my life if that was gone. I'm going to continue as long as I can, and as long as everyone around me will support me in doing it, and I think that's really important. It isn't about the months, it's really about what it takes and what kind of person wants to go and ski every month. That it's an adventure, and that every month you get to build your own little mini adventure, and it's something to look forward to, and you don't know what it's going to be. And sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's like a Sufferfest. But you enjoy it, and you get to do it with your friends, and it's great. So I think that's really what the story is about.
Make you a little emotional?
Yeah.
It's about pursuing your passions.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to tell me.
Is that why? Because it's your passion? Or why are you emotional right now?
Well, it is, yeah. It's what I live for.
Let's just do this now. Let's just crush it.
32 years this October, which pretty badass.
He double jacks a lot. He's known as Odin because it's zeroed in.